Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, and happy December. I cannot believe it. We are on the last month of the year, and we have an awesome topic, considering that all of you are probably thinking about your year ahead and making 2026 the best year of your career. So do me a little favor, if you will, and just type a quick hello in the chat box. I love to see all of our friends and familiar names, and I appreciate you taking time in this busy month to join us today. So what we thought we should do that would be just something a little bit different is that we should take this topic of being a high six-figure earner and break it into 3 chunks, because you've got a lot on your plate right now. So instead of overwhelming you with a lengthy webinar today we're going to do part 1. And part 1 is the mindset of a six-figure plus earner. So obviously, whether you're looking to earn 100,000 plus or 900,000 plus, I think most of us here today would say, yes, I want to be a high six-figure earner. Now, some of you with us may have already crossed that threshold into the 7 figures. If so, congratulations, and please feel free, share your tips in the chat box. All right, guys, so as we go, feel free to type in thoughts, type in questions. I'm going to make sure that we save some time at the end. And my name is Debbie DeGroat, CEO and co-founder of Forward Coaching. So let's dive in. It's such an interesting thing, the mindset to be a high six-figure earner. Surprisingly, many of us, and I'm going to say myself included, when I got into the business at the age of 18, maybe have a little bit of baggage around, do I really deserve to earn in the high 6 figures? Maybe like many of you, my family did not have money growing up. And I remember in my second year of real estate where I actually out-earned what my father was earning in his regular 9-to-5 job. And it made me feel guilty. It made me feel a little uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it. I guess I didn't have the mindset. Like, I knew I wanted to make enough money to be financially secure. I knew I wanted to make enough money not to worry about paying the bills every Friday the way my parents struggled and suffered. But no one had really talked to me about the mindset of success and setting goals and having a plan for that until I went to work with my first broker. And I remembered he handed me the book, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, you need to read this. It's by Napoleon Hill. Many of you have read it. And he said, I want you to memorize this quote: whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So that was really my first, entree into goal setting and thinking bigger and thinking that great things were possible. And real estate is a business that offers great opportunity. We know it. We've seen success stories. We've grown up around that. We've aspired to that. And yet most fail to earn what they aspire to earn. So they had a vision coming into the business, and either they've failed to hit that number or they've even left the business in their first year, which shockingly, 80% of those who get into the real estate business leave in the first year. Why? It's hard, right? It's a hard business. Probably we've all had those moments where we've looked at our friends or family that have that 9 to 5 job and the paycheck at the end of the week, no matter what. And we've thought, wow, maybe today I envy that because today was difficult to be an entrepreneur. And yet we have to remember that it is a business that offers unlimited opportunity. I have seen agents go from literally rags to riches in a period of 5 years because they took advantage of the opportunity. So, I tell my daughters, you're an entrepreneur, like the world is ending, you're over it. And you wake up in the morning and think, I have an idea, right? So whether you've had a difficult year this year or an excellent year this year, it's almost over, which means we get to start again, right? And so why also do so many fail? As a coach for the last 25 plus years, I really have had the pleasure of coaching some of the most awesome people and all shapes and sizes, all parts of the country, everything from new to 40 plus year veterans. And there's something that those that earn in the high 6 figures share in common. They treat this like a real job. I remember when I was launching a new office and I was doing a lot of recruiting, and we were super open to recruiting new agents as well as seasoned. And I remember that I would ask new agents, and many would say, yes, I am. I don't have another job. I'm planning to be full-time. But then I would ask them, define what full-time means. When you look at your life, your activities, your responsibilities, how many hours do you actually plan to give to the real estate business? And often it was 10 or 20 or 25. Once in a while, I would hear someone say, whatever it takes. 40, 50, 60, whatever it takes. Because see, they really had that intention of treating it like a real job. So what I would encourage you to do, just a little be honest with yourself, not going to ask you to share it in the chat box, not needed, but I would love to have you take a look at your schedule over the last couple of months, or just think about your routine this year. How many hours did you actually work in the real estate business? Because we think about it 24/7, we feel like we're always working. So when I define working, you are on duty, you are meeting with people, you are making outbound outreaches, you are proactively embracing the day. So how many hours did you actually work? Now, let's go to the low end of the 6-figure. Let's say 100,000. Let's pretend that each of you needed some help with your business and you were thinking about hiring someone today and you were thinking about paying 100,000. How would you expect them to show up each day? Right? Just think about that. If you were writing a paycheck, would you expect them to be on time, to be dressed professionally, to work the schedule and complete the activities that were designated in their schedule? And I think we all would, right? But now think about, what if it were 200, 300, 600,000? Just for fun, if you guys all have your phone handy, which I'm sure you do, if you Google quickly, so take the place where you live. So Matt, Walnut Creek, California. Julie, hey, California also. Then we've got Peter from Toronto, Charlotte, North Carolina, take a minute and just Google, what does the average doctor in my city or state earn? And then type it in the chat box. So everyone, just if you want to, go ahead and Google that. So I think what you'll find is, compared to what you have the ability to earn in this business, after 13 years of medical school and residency, yeah, Nick, it's not that much, right? 126 to 328. Matt, 240,000. 200 to 300, right? You guys see a pattern? 200 to 300, 138 from Paige. Now, Google, what does the average brain surgeon make? And I think you're going to be surprised. Now, I really believe there are probably some in the country that are just so stellar. I don't know. Maybe they even earn in the millions compared to what you all have the ability to earn, which is why this business has such incredible opportunity. So I want to ask yourself, as you think about 2026, you got to ask yourself, am I currently showing up the way I need to in order to achieve the goals that I have set? I want to pull something up. I took a photo. I was on a great conference call. Let me find this really quick, with some terrific people from the world of place. And give me one sec here, guys. I want to pull it up. And they were talking about business planning and the year ahead. And they asked these 3 questions. So I don't have them on the slides. This was fresh and new. I just want to read them to you, and I want you to write them down. So the first question is, what are you most proud of in 2025? Now, this can be business or personal. Obviously, lots of things you could be proud of. But in our application today, let's apply it to business. So in 2025, what are you most proud of? And if you want to share, go right ahead, type it in the chat box. So that's number 1. Number 2, what consistently limited your growth in 2025? Right? So what consistently limited your growth? So Paige is most proud of finishing her real estate classes. So Paige, you're new to the business. Welcome. Also, she talked about procrastination. Nick says he's proud that he helped sellers sell that did not think it was possible after their listing expired. And Nick, I hope you got a great review from them. So what are you most proud of? And then what consistently limited your growth? I was working on a webinar for all of you that I'll be doing in the new year on the topic of momentum. But I'm going to give you a little secret to having momentum in 2026. It's small, specific actions done consistently every single day in a very consistent fashion. So Brian admits what limited him. He wasn't sticking to his time block of prospecting. So guys, just imagine if every day in the new year at 9 a.m., you were ready to roll. You had 10 great real estate conversations. Then you sent 10 great emails to connect or create an opportunity. Then you sent 10 awesome texts to create an opportunity. We call it the 10, 10, 10. Probably would take you about 2 hours. But if you multiply 30 connections, right? Because 10 conversations, 10 emails, 10 texts, 30 connections times your days worked. for most of you, probably significantly more than you did this year, which is a great thing, right? Because if this year wasn't exactly what you hoped, and you're admitting, that you've had some gaps, you've had some missed opportunity, you haven't been consistent, totally within your power to change that. Then energy audit. So this is number 3. Ask yourself, in this business, what gives me energy and what drains my energy? So what gives me energy and what drains my energy? For an example, when you do a lot of consistent lead generation, that actually gives you the opportunity to say no to certain transactions or certain customers because they drain your energy. So Tyler, I'm not sure why the audio is breaking up. I apologize for that. Could be that I'm working from the office in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and there's a snowstorm happening at this moment. So not used to that when I'm in our office in California. All right. So in today's session, I really want to talk about what you need to know, what you need to do to begin to develop your own success blueprint. So I'm going to promise you as many tips and strategies as our short time allows. And all I ask of you is just one great takeaway, 1, 2, 3 great takeaways to leave here and put into action. So because we're going to cover a lot in a short period of time, you might have extra questions or need some extra help. And I'll tell you at the end how you can connect with me. Okay. So the first step to earning 6 figures plus, I think, begins with your purpose. Because, we've talked about this before together as a group, that while motivation is wonderful, and a lot of people talk about being motivated, the reality is it's fleeting, right? What causes you to get out of bed every day and do the things that the majority of others in the industry will not do? It's your purpose, and it's different for all of you. So your purpose might be your children. Your purpose might be you're recovering from some financial disaster and you're rebuilding your security. Your purpose might be, I've been in this business a long time, and within the next couple of years, I want to be in position to be retirable. But really identifying and connecting with that purpose, that's what's going to drive you. That's what's going to cause you to do what is hard on the days you don't feel like it, right? So since we're thinking about purpose, whatever your 6-figure number is, if you want to type it in, you're welcome to do that. But again, no pressure. But I just want you to think about, is it 100, 200, 300, 800? What is that 6-figure plus number? See it in your mind, and then think about, what could you do if you earn that income, when you earn that income? How could you help your family? What could you do for your community? Some of you are very involved in a church. There was an awesome lady that I coached for a number of years until she retired. And her goal was to earn $1 million every year, to live and pay bills and taxes on $200,000, and to put $800,000 into a fund till had enough money. Because see, she was an orphan in Vietnam. An amazing family in America adopted her, gave her a great education, loved and supported her, and it was always her goal to go back and build and run this orphanage. So whatever it is for you, what is your purpose? I love Brian buy a home on Lake Huron. Nick says financial time and freedom for me and my future family. I love seeing the numbers here, guys. 400, 800, 600, and future would earning six figures plus give you. Attach that also to your purpose. Now you got to ask yourself, to have all that awesome, when I say stuff, I don't just mean like a mansion and a yacht, because that may not be your thing. But to have all those awesome things in your life, are you willing to play full out? Because in all these years of coaching great people, what I've noticed is the defining difference between a high achiever and an average achiever. It's usually not so much more talent. It's really that they're willing to do what's hard. They're willing to do it consistently, and they're willing to do the things that other people avoid, right? So here's a different topic since we're talking about mindset of a high six-figure earner. Beware of complacency. So this is what I've learned as a coach over the last 25 years. Well, we would all like to earn more money, and in some cases really need to earn more money. It is human nature that you will earn enough to get by, to live your life, to pay your bills. You will earn enough to get by and then get a little complacent. Because once those needs are met, and you still wanted to climb that mountain for a bigger number, for those exciting goals and things that you had in mind, but it's kind of easy to hang out there in base camp and go, yeah, I'm all good. I got food. I got my tent. I'm warm. I'm cozy. Kind of good right here, base camp. I don't know if I really want to climb that mountain. So complacency is your enemy. So here's a few things to avoid complacency. Write down the six-figure plus amount that you would like to earn. Then subtract from that, what does it currently take you annually to meet all your financial needs? Then, of course, we need to estimate putting some money aside for taxes. I'm just going to pretend, because easy math. Let's pretend you want to earn $250, and you say, you know what, it's going to take me $50,000 to the contribution I need to make to my household. But then I'm going to figure another $50,000 for taxes, because I don't know. I gotta, estimate and put that aside. So now I'm going to have $150,000 in profit. So now, what are you going to do with that $150,000? I call this the spend it on paper exercise. So let's say I write down, well, I want to set up a 6-month reserve account. So I need to put $25,000 in a reserve account. I have a credit card I want to pay off that's $5,000. You know what? Next Christmas, I want to take my family to Hawaii. I need $10,000. There's a new mission project at my church, and I want to donate to that. I need $5,000. And you start making a list of all the great things you could do with that leftover profit. See, now you start to have a little attachment. Would you pay off debt, take a vacation, set up a savings account, invest in real estate? So now that you've done this, if you have a significant other in your life, share these great goals with them, because this will help you engage their support, because they understand, why are you doing this? Why are you getting up every day early and hitting the office and playing full out? But you know what it also does? It creates some positive accountability. because now you shared how you're going to make their life better when you play full out and achieve the goals. They're cheering you on, but guess what? They're also expecting that you'll do it. So, is this easy? No, we already said that. It's not, right? Because in a way, we kind of wake up every morning and start again. And that's why six-figure plus earners, they just have to work on their mindset. I I was going to make an egg this morning and I dropped it on the floor and it just like shattered everywhere, which was super fun when you're in a hurry. But I think about our mindset like that. It's like a fragile egg. And there's so many things that can disrupt your positive mindset. Eliminate as much negative input as you can. And I'm not going to lecture you guys on, what to listen to or not listen to, but really think about what are you putting in your mind first thing in the morning. I've had many clients that have declared this year media free. They're like, I'm not going to watch the news. I'm going to get the news from a reliable source on my phone, but I'm not going to obsess on it. I'm not going to watch it every morning. I'm going to choose the programs, the podcasts. I'm going to join mastermind groups because I hear my desire to be more than just average. I remember hearing a speaker once say, how would you feel if your neighbor rang your doorbell and you opened up the door and they threw a disgusting pail of garbage into your entry? You would be mad, right? Not very happy. But how many times a day do we let outside forces, others, dump into our mind negative garbage that will pull you off track? It might even look like you're in your office, you're doing your 10, 10, 10. Somebody in the office walks up and says, oh, I don't make those kinds of phone calls. No way. You're not going to get any result from that, right? It's all setbacks and you will have failures. Don't expect perfection. Instead, be determined to learn from your mistake and really begin again. So, and Paige, I apologize for the cutting out. It's probably the cell tower. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything about that. But I'll tell you what, guys, we are recording. And then this recording will absolutely be sent to all of you by tomorrow. And the recording should be good, I'm hoping. Okay. So, six-figure earners don't make excuses. They pivot to meet market conditions. Was the market tough this year? Yes, it was. Will it be better next year? Possibly. But guess what? We're just going to show up every day and do the work. And the six-figure earners are big thinkers. So borrow my favorite quote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. When my broker first gave me this book, I thought it just meant I had to dream about it, right? Like conceive it, dream about it. But then as I read the book, I realized that when he's talking about conceive of it, he was talking about having a plan. What is my plan? What is my strategy? What is my process? Because the great thing about a predictable process, it will produce a predictable result. So, because this is a business that's not easy and none of us are, some of you are very disciplined, but you weren't born that way. You trained your, when we're all doing hard things, we need help. We need a coach, a mentor, a mastermind group, an accountability partner. That can look like people that are currently in your life. It could be your spouse or partner. It could be your broker, your manager, your team leader. Or it could be a coach or a coach with Forward. But think about who is in your corner, who is going to lift you up on the days when you fall off the path. So, who is coaching you? Every one of us need that kind of support. So, if you decide that it is time to have a coach, but you don't know what that looks like, or how would that work, or is Forward even the right coaching company for you, I am happy to have that conversation and answer any questions you have. No pressure. There is no contract here, because if you choose to join us, then we feel we need to be accountable to show up every day and do an awesome job for you so that you will want to stay, not because you have a contract, right? So I hope, and thank you, Tony. Yes, David Long is amazing. David has been with me as a coach for so many years. I can't even tell you. David and I go back 20 plus years, and all of my coaches are very skilled 20 to 40-year veterans of the industry. And if you choose to work with us, I'll get you the right match. I'm just so happy you guys were here today. And I just wanted to give you a few things to think about when it comes to the mindset of earning what you deserve in the new year. And then the next time we're together, part 2, we're going to start looking at the magic is in the math. Like, how do we break it down to a recipe that's easy to follow, so that you know, if I just show up every day and run my playbook, I'm going to get to the goal I have in mind. So I hope you all will have a great day. Be thinking about that plan. By the way, if you need our business planning package, please feel free to let my office know. You can find it on the forwardcoaching.com website. And I just want to be sure you all have a plan as we go into the new year. All right, guys. Hey, have a great day. And remember, the first quarter, it actually starts today, right? What we do in December, we will feel the result in the first quarter. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for joining me. Sorry for our technical difficulties, but I will see you soon. Bye-bye.